It's been a little while. But yeah, it's cool to be doing this shit again. I mean, I don't know if it's cool, but it's something. Like it is, it is something to be doing this again. But I've missed you all, so let's do it. So now, apologies, I was late, obviously, but look, I did say 1:30 for a 1:45 start, so that's let's just stick with that, shall we? Thank you to AsburyBrad for today's stream art, which is right here. So very nice, great as always, and yeah, all right. So we're doing the classics today, so that's why I thought I'd start with a classic in Sweet Child of Mine, because today we are going to be going back to the I Am a Predator call. Still one of my top calls, and I've lost track of how many times I've listened to it, and it seems to get better every time. So I hope you agree. But anyway, even if you don't, well, what are you going to do? So g'day to AsburyBrad, Spencer Silvera, one of those weirdos, getting off the fucking phone. Thanks, Ann. Lorne's wet be right ussy juice is wet and ready. I'm glad. G'day, the most worst. Viper GTS, polynomial purebred. Oh, nostalgia. Carl Weathering, g'day Carl, great to see you. You are sorely missed. Not by Slothcat, but still missed. G'day Kenneth Keith and Craigory and Flaps and Clits. Tristan Walls, Winchester Spincock, Paulina Casey, Ben Cartwright, Outdoor Loser, Tristan Walls. Yeah, well, Asbury Brads, I've already said hello. The Cornville Nightmare, Dragon Words, Cornhole Three-Way. Well. Isn't this cunning? Even Little McNuggets, I did figure out the Wi-Fi, thank you. I died it by myself. C. Morgul, the lamp that never got to shine on Lorne's Dink. Pussy Destroyer, Daniel Lynn, Alison Marie Armstrong, Cat G, Radical, Sean McClure, Witchert, Mum N, Kit Kat Meow, and Your Hair's on Sweet, Danforth Anchors. Jeez, now it's gone all crazy. You motherfucker, YouTube. Jennifer Lewis, That Damn Doctor, Octopushy, Mittens Romney. G'day, Mittens. Anne O'Rourke, Clementine, and Ragefield Virgin, Wayne Tech 10, Moton G, aka Todd Sommel, Jeremy Heyman, Peter O'Keefe, Janine, Janine, I hope I've said that right, Janine, one of those, Dubsy CC. So yeah, cool. I think I got everyone there. Apologies if I missed you. So yeah, like I said, we're going to be doing I'm a Predator. I reckon this is probably a two-parter. It's quite a long call. We'll see how we go. G'day, Mike Pence. And yeah, look, let's just get straight into it.
Hi, beautiful lady.
How's it
How are
going?
you?
I'm good.
Well, it's going better than what it was.
Okay, that's a good start.
It's been rough.
Oh, Lorne.
But kind of a rough day.
Little hungover today?
No,
Oh,
no. I just all the talking that I've done with Winnie and with Emma and Maria and the class.
yeah.
It's been hard.
Okay, well, what did you guys talk about?
G'day, Brandon.
I figured out I need to stop my bullshit.
Well,
It's just a lot of
should have figured that out a long time ago.
that have happened to me. It bothers me. It
Bothers me.
I put it off on other people, and
It bothers him so fucking much. G'day, Department of Redundancy Department.
I get hateful because of things that have happened to me on the internet. Because of the internet, fucking how to deal with the internet.
with the internet.
how to deal with my thoughts and how to live with the crap that I did, and why I go over Tony and Wendy's, and how I don't want to go over Tony and Wendy's, but I wind up going over there, how I can't stand Wendy.
Oh, for fuck's
I really
sake.
can't stand Tony either.
Okay, well, why don't we kind of start there? Why did you go there yesterday?
I got just bored.
Okay,
I don't know
so
why I got bored, because I had plenty to do. I don't know. Marie asked me why I went there. I told her I don't know. So I was just bored, and I just felt like going over there. Even though I can't stand. It don't make sense to me, because as much as she's fucked me over, and Wendy, she just grosses me out.
Why?
okay,
No,
so
Why does Wendy gross you out? Like, I mean, I don't know Wendy. She doesn't sound like she's amazing, but, like, she let you in her house begrudgingly. And, like, once again, Lorne, you are the pedophile. So, unless, you know, Wendy has also been trying to rape kids, how the fuck does anyone gross you out? G'day, Zachy. And sorry, please.
it makes
seeing
me
as
mad, 'cause
that's
I promised you that I
well, I mean, seeing as you're talking about how you don't like them, it's kind of strange that you would go there.
Well,
So what
see,
is better? Hang on a second. What is better?
Shut the fuck up.
Like, what are you getting out of it then? That makes it
I-
better to go there than to not go there.
I like Tony, and
You do?
Tony's really the only one that I like to drink with, because he doesn't get stupid, and
He's a likable person.
we just sit there and relax and have a few beers.
Okay, well, number one, it's not just a few beers, and you know that.
Why is he always needing to relax? Like, he's always like, oh, I need to have a few beers to relax. Like, what? Like, I mean, what is so stressful in your life? I mean, obviously your life is pretty shit, but, like, it's not like you're worrying about making, you know, paying the bills, because you don't pay them. Like, it's not like, you know, you've got kids that you've got to worry about, you know, the stresses they have in their life, you know, like, what exactly is so stressful? You get up, you fuck around and destroy your house for a while, you sometimes go to work. That's your life. Like, how is this so stressful?
No,
You're going to start there. Again, you know, if you're going to be honest, you need to be completely transparent, and you can't just brush it off as if I'm just having a few beers. I go over there. I like to go over there because it's fun, but yeah, I don't like them because they take advantage of me, and a lot of bullshit happens every time I go there. So it's really contradictory, the stuff that you're saying.
That's actually exactly the words I need to use, because that's exactly the way it is. It's exactly the way I feel. What you just said is exactly the way I feel. I enjoy myself when I'm over there, and I enjoy drinking with Tony, and I do have more than a few beers.
How many did you have yesterday?
Say to get away from the trash. Huh?
G'day, Cookie Whoopie Pie. Very, very appropriate you're here.
How many did you have yesterday?
I had 7.
Are you sure about that?
I think so.
What about when you got home?
6. I had 8.
You had 8 when you got home?
No. I had 3 over at Tony's.
Bullshit.
And came home.
So let me ask you, what is it that goes on in your head that makes it okay for you to...
So he talks about he goes over to Tony because he doesn't like to drink alone, yet he'll have you believe that when he, you know, had company, he only had 3 beers, but he bought a six pack to take home when he doesn't want to drink alone. Makes perfect sense. G'day, edamame.
Get in your car after you've been drinking.
Ignorance.
That's not good enough.
Ignorance.
It's not okay to get in my car after I've been drinking. I know that. That's why I don't know why I go over Tony's to drink, because this is another thing. When he doesn't fucking drink anything,
So why is that an issue? Like, what is it a problem that Wendy doesn't drink anything? G'day, Stephen Moore and a mad cracker Lornography.
The,
And Mr. C.
I don't know why. It's fucking stupid. I've got so much to fucking lose, and to do something so stupid as go over there and then drive after I've been drinking. I've got so much to fucking lose. And I went through that with Maria today, and it blows my mind why I would be so stupid.
Well, why does it blow your mind? It can't
Because-
surprise you. You do it all the time.
Hey, Fantastic Planet.
You know, I don't used to be like that.
What do you mean never used to be? Are we talking 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I got incarcerated.
Okay, you're saying I was never like that, but since you've been there, you've done it a lot.
But it really, okay, a few things. It really doesn't matter. Okay, say you believe him and he was never like this. It really doesn't matter because you're like this now. Like, it doesn't matter if you didn't used to do something 20 years ago. You're doing it now, so it doesn't matter. And also, you know, really, who gives a fuck if you were like this 20 years ago? 20 years ago, you didn't have probation conditions that you received after trying to fuck a kid. So it's irrelevant. If you want to go and get smashed every night 20 years ago, no one else cares. Like, okay? But now, the law says you can't do that. So that's why it's an issue now. And also, bullshit you weren't doing it before you went to jail. Like, we know all the nights you were fucking sick drunk when you're talking to Kayla, for an example. Like, before you went to jail. Fucking bullshit. G'day, Dan's confused entrance.
I know.
So I want to know what makes that okay. What makes it okay every single time you do it?
It's not okay. It's not okay for me to do it.
Nope.
So what do you tell yourself then?
In every sense of the word, it's not okay for me to do it.
But what do you
I
tell
could hurt
yourself?
somebody. I could really ruin my life, somebody else's life. It's not okay for me to...
Your life's already ruined, Lorne. 100%, you know, you could ruin someone else's life, but don't worry about, you know, this could ruin your life. Your life is ruined. It can't get any more ruined. Your life is like your trailer. Both are fucked. G'day, Stacey Steele.
to do it. And I know it. I don't know
so
why.
what do you tell yourself every time you're going to do it? Because you know when you make the decision that you're going to go over there, you stop at the store, you buy everything that you guys...
Like, it's just so funny to me. Like, imagine being Lorne. Like, imagine being Lorne where really most of your life has been pretty fucking shitty, but everyone knows you for being a pedophile. You were on national TV for being a pedophile. You've been to jail for collectively nearly 6 years. Everyone hates you. Your only contact in life is with people that are intentionally catfishing you to make fun of you and embarrass you more on the internet, and then saying, I could, you know, this could ruin my life. Like, how do you think your life could get any worse? It's so good.
You guys are going to be eating and drinking. You drive over there, you know that you're going to have to get home at some point. What is the plan? The plan is, as soon as you're done with the last drop, you get in your car and you start driving.
Yeah. And just to get it, usually it's to get away from Tony and Wendy.
Okay, so
Just
then you're gonna stop there too, because you had mentioned that you like to drink with Tony, and now you're saying you want to get away from them.
Yeah, well, it's not so much Tony that I don't want to get away from. It's Wendy. Wendy, she's so selfish, self-centered. If you go over there without buying something for Wendy, Wendy doesn't want you there. That's why, another reason I don't know why.
No, like, Wendy doesn't want you there, Lorne. She will tolerate it if you do get her that. But also, it's probably the polite thing to do. Like, you're going into her house. you're bringing her dipshit husband beer. She doesn't drink, so you should bring her something. But don't get it confused. She doesn't want you there, but because her dipshit husband wants beer, she will tolerate it.
I just don't like him.
Well,
I like Tony. I like Tony, but I don't like the way he acts with taking advantage of me and with Wendy being so disrespectful to everybody. It's not unless you're her family. Like her brother go over there, she kiss his ass up and down.
Because it's her brother.
She go over there and help him out with shit, and she treats him like they're second best to her.
G'day, Pine Baron Patriot.
Like a woman, she's never had an honest day of work in her life. But it seems like everybody owes her. I don't understand why I even have anything to do with them. I'm not going to anymore because I told Maria today. When I talked to Maria today, I told her that I couldn't understand it. And she said, you want somebody to hang around, and that's understandable. But you're hanging around the wrong person. And I said, yeah, it's something I should have realized years ago. She had me do up a list of reasons why it was a bad idea.
Do you have the list?
No, she's got the list.
Okay.
I should have asked her for a copy of it.
G'day, Xavier.
Was it pretty long?
I hope you're
Well,
happy.
with all the things that we were talking about, it was a good list. And there's things that I need to sort out and do right, and reasons I need to not drink and not to go over Tony's, not to hang around Tony. The biggest reason was because he takes advantage of me. He doesn't respect me.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm not
Lorne, no one respects you. You're not respectable. There's no reason anyone would respect you. Like, I don't really understand. Like, if this is true, I really don't understand why probation or whoever are spending so much time on, making lists of reasons not to hang out with Tony. Like, it's not like he has a great deal of options. Like, it's good to want to hang out with people, but Tony's the wrong people. Well, he's got no other fucking options. Like, at the end of the day, all they should be doing is making sure he doesn't drink, because he's not allowed to, that he certainly doesn't drink and drive, and that he stops being a fucking pedo. And if he's not going to stop being a fucking pedo, I mean, I don't really think he can't stop that attraction, but just make sure that he's safe for the community. That's all your job is. Like, fuck this, like, helping him see this shit. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, Lorne, you're not allowed to drink. If the only reason you're going over to Tony's to drink, you can't go over there. If you're going and you can't drink and drive, so don't do that. Like, that is the list. Like, fuck this shit about, reasons not to go over there because he doesn't respect me. No one fucking respects you. Your mother doesn't respect you.
nothing but a free beer to him.
Mm-hmm.
That and someone that he can use for borrowing tools and to help when he actually can do shit himself. He puts on this fucking pathetic, pitiful story of, ow, my back hurts. And he puts his hand on his back like it really hurts. And
Isn't he like in a wheelchair most of the time?
goddamn well it doesn't.
So you're not going to
no
associate
idea
with
why.
him anymore?
G'day, online
No.
lobster.
At all?
He's going to come over.
Smash cut to tomorrow night when Lorne is at Tony's.
Yeah, so I told them they could come over, bring the stuff over for the yard sale. I mean, I can still be friends with them, just not hang around with them. I can text with them, but not go over.
Okay.
Not go over, not drink with them, not buy beer for him. I'm not going to let him use my tools. If he wants to use my pressure washer, he can come over here to use it.
Okay, pause.
I'm not going over his house, because last year I let him use it, and I brought it over so he could use it. And he was supposed to spray his house down, wash his house down with it. He had the fucking thing there for 2 months.
So, if he needs to use the pressure washer, he's going to come there, and the pressure washer's not going to go to his house. So, how is he going to use the pressure washer on his house? So, if Tony wants to use the pressure washer, he can come to your place and use it on your place. So the only reason that Tony's going to be able to use the pressure washer if he's just like wants to use it for like a therapeutic type thing, and he can do that on Lorne's house.
And I kept telling him, Tony, you gonna use that goddamn thing sometime today, or this year, or what? When he finally used it, it took him 6 hours to do half of his house. I was so freaking pissed because I wound up all summer without it because he just had it over there, not doing anything with it. So I'm not gonna let him do that again. He wants to use it again. And I told him, you use it over here. You're taking over your house.
Okay. And what else did Maria say? Why isn't she giving you a breathalyzer?
Because she wants me to be able to talk about things. If I feel like I'm gonna drink, she wants me to be able to talk to someone.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter who
you
it is
bring
you
your
talk
house
to.
here.
Make sure it's somebody that's close to you that knows what stuff you're going through.
Okay.
Call me and you can talk to me. Said if it's Dwayne, that class, the counselor at class that you want to call, talk to him even if they leave a voicemail on his machine.
Mhm.
She said if it's anybody else, and somebody else that you want to talk to about things, and then talk to them about it.
Mhm.
She said if you mess up, then at least call me and tell me or text me that you messed up and you need to talk. I don't want to mess up. I want to mess up because I create a mess. Like yesterday, I was so happy yesterday because me and Roy was working. We got a lot of stuff done, cleaning up the yard and everything. We got a lot of stuff done. And I was so proud of everything that we got done.
Mhm.
Then I took and fucked up, went over to Tony's. When I took Roy home, I went over to Tony's after that. And I'm sorry I fucked up. Sorry for going over there.
She doesn't care, Lord.
Well, don't apologize to me.
All I need to do. I promised you that I would drink.
Yeah, but I knew it was going to happen.
G'day, Egbert Mandingo. I love this. This is some of my favourite Lorne stuff where, like, you know, he'll do something wrong and be like, I'm sorry, baby, or I'm sorry I fucked up. Like, trying to, like, insert their care. Like they don't give a fuck. But this is what he loves getting in trouble because he views that as care and, you know, concern. G'day, Toe versus Bannister.
You want that.
And this call is called I Am a Predator. I am Bannister person.
Stupid fucking up.
The one thing that I know is that life isn't about being perfect. And there's a difference between, like, I think sometimes you think in terms of being perfect as like, I'm promising that I'm not going to drink again. And I'm not perfect though, so I'm going to. I'm going to go over Tony's. I'm going to drive drunk. Whatever it is that you're promising, you give yourself a little bit of an out because you say you're not perfect. And there's a difference between things that, you know, are just a matter of being human that make us unperfect. And then there's other things that are intentionally done. When you're thinking about an act and then you go and complete it, you can't toss that up and say, well, I'm not perfect. I
G'day,
know I
Sad
promised,
Face
but I'm
09.
not perfect. So it's kind of like, I'm not perfect, so I'm not going to be in a good mood every single day. Or I'm not perfect, so sometimes I'll wake up on a Saturday and I don't feel like doing anything. I feel like hanging around, watching Netflix, not doing the whole entire to-do list that I normally have planned. But those types of things are just kind of like human nature, and we toss it up to just going with the day, and it's not a big deal because it's not having a major impact on our life.
Yeah, but with me messing up, it has a major impact on my life.
It does. And the other thing along with that is that you're doing things intentionally. The things aren't just happening. You're not just waking up in the morning drunk. You're driving to the store. You're buying everything with money that you don't have. You're driving over to Tony's. You're sitting there. They're pissing you off because you know that they're taking advantage of you. They're making comments. Wendy's being disrespectful. You get in your car as soon as you're done. You drive drunk. You come home. You start disrespecting everyone, including me. And then
I know.
the tears
Oh, no.
start. And you say, I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I mean, what is there to not understand? It's so clear. It's like every single thing. It seems like your answer when you're questioned about it is, I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, are you just somebody who's floating in the breeze? Like, oh, the breeze is taking me the other way. I'm going to the liquor store. Oops. A beer. Oh my gosh. How did this beer get in my hand and why am I drinking it? I have no idea.
See, this is what messes me up, though, because you drank. I wasn't thinking about anything. I was happy. I wasn't thinking about anything from my past. And everything today came out again. Everything that I said to you last night, everything that I did, the way I treated you, the way I treated Wendy, the way I just friggin' went off the handle. And all I could think about is, why does anybody want to have anything to do with me with the fucking past that I have?
Yep. Amazing question, Lorne. Like, every so often you have these moments of clarity. Like, that is a great question. Why would anyone want to have anything to do with you, with what you've done? So, maybe two things. So maybe look at that and go, the ones that do generally want to have anything to do with you, maybe you need to be a little less fucking picky, and maybe you need to be a little bit less judgmental, and also, accept that, look, to be honest, you are probably going to have a bit more of a transactional relationship. So Tony, don't think he, is the salt of the earth, but, he will, want something to do with you, if you bring in beer. That's probably what you need to do. Like, you probably just need to accept you are an absolute piece of shit, like, amongst the absolute worst people in the world. So if you want to hang out with someone, you're gonna have to bring them beer. And then also look at, okay, why would all these amazing women want anything to do with me? So maybe I'm being fucked with. But don't think about it too hard, because I would really like more calls. G'day, Honest. Great to see you.
So,
Fucking charge,
Oh,
boss.
and also Lorne's one night stand. Hello to you. And I'm gonna go back because this next little bit is amazing. Like, this is one of the best Lorne quotes.
Yeah.
so
Fucking charge bothers me so fucking much.
yeah, as it
So
should.
fucking much.
I mean, I think that there's a lot of people that are going to be in your shoes. Some of them are sitting in prison because they killed someone. Some people are sitting in prison because they were driving drunk and they killed someone. That could be it. They could have stolen a crap ton of money from someone and now they have that guilt too. They can have charges that they don't just go away. They're not swept under the rug. And these are the types of things that shouldn't be. What you did should not be swept under the rug ever.
Marie tells me that I need to get past it and I need to move on in my life. And all I can tell is, do you realize what I fucking did?
Well, she's not talking
She
about
says, yeah, I
forgetting
realize
it.
what you did, but she says, yeah, I realize what you did, but you can't kill you and beat yourself up for it all your life.
Well, there's a difference there, though. There's a difference of saying, I did something terrible. I did something so bad. And I can look at the bright side of it, too, and say, it turned out a lot better than it could have, with there being an actual victim that you then would have to be responsible for. But, there's a matter of drawing a line in the sand and saying there's nothing that you can do to go backwards. Are you going to hate it every day? Yes, absolutely. And you should hate it every day. But you have to go on with your life. You have to wake up again the next morning and you have to do all the things that make up your life, whether it's take care of your dogs, go to work, talk to your mom, take care of your house. You do have to move on. Absolutely. But there's a difference, because there's going to be no forgetting it, and you never should forget. I think that it would be scary if you did forget. If you said, you know what, this is something that I did 10 years ago, fuck off if you have a problem with it.
No, I can't be like that, because I have a problem with it.
You should, absolutely, and that's good.
Not
I'm
something
glad.
I ever wanted to do or ever.
Nope. Stop right there. Stop.
I mean,
Stop.
what I'm saying.
Nope. Stop. You have to stop. Wait a second. I'm not going to let you do this again.
You gotta let me finish.
And so, like, he just misses the point so much here. Like, I don't even know what I want to say exactly, but it's just so ridiculous that he's going on about, Maria says I need to let it go or whatever. Like, no, you can't change it, but, like, you need to actually start working on yourself. You need to start participating in class. Like, you can't just keep saying, oh, I never wanted to do it. And, like, you never want to do it. Like, what does that even mean? Like, if someone, like, murders someone, like, a few years before that, they probably didn't want to do that. They probably didn't go, you know what? I really want to fucking murder someone. But you did it. Like, it doesn't change anything. G'day, a surly barber. And, who else came in there? I missed you. Anyway, hello to you, whoever you were. Oh, g'day, NWAW Skeptic and Smokey the Cat.
Finish.
No, you have to let me finish first.
Okay.
I don't want to hear, I didn't want to go. I don't want to hear that. Really, what it comes down to is, I didn't want to be that guy who did that. Because
that is what I'm saying.
Okay, wait a minute. Because you know what that means. You know what people think. You know what people think when they think about you and when they hear about you. You don't want to be that guy, but you were that guy. That's what you have to accept. You can't be in denial and say, I'm not like them. I'm not like the other guys who went there. Because you were exactly like them, Lorne.
I know, and it bothers me.
It should bother you.
It bothers me.
But here's the thing.
I've never in my life wanted to be that guy that did that.
You were that guy. That's what you have to accept.
I know. That's not so easy to accept, though.
You have to. You have to accept it.
It's not easy to live with.
I know, but you have to. All of this time that you've been saying to yourself, I didn't want to go there, has been blocking you. And it's blocking everyone from being able to move on from it too. I would be almost willing to bet that that's the reason why you're still in that class. Because you're still differentiating yourself from everyone else who's there as if you don't belong, and you do. The punishment that you've gone through is well deserved. The fact that you have to be inconvenienced and have to be on a registry and have to have your picture taken, go through all of this stuff, not being allowed to be like a regular citizen and have access to things like the internet, which is something that is pretty needed. You know, it's important for everyday life. I know I use it all the time. I do everything on there, banking, all kinds of stuff. So the fact that you're kind of grounded from that, like, you can't have this, you can't have that privilege and that freedom to be able to do it, because you can't be trusted until you prove that you can be trusted, legitimately trusted. And I'm not talking about just words, because we know that your words have been bullshit this whole time. But I'll say it again, because it's really important, Lorne. You can't say, I didn't want to go there. anymore.
I know what you're saying.
It doesn't work.
I know what you're saying. It's not.
I never want to hear you say that again.
And he never did.
I won't say that again.
What are you going to say instead?
Bullshit. G'day, CJ.
I never wanted to be the guy that did that.
You never wanted
That's
to get
actually
caught.
the words that I've always meant to say. Never said it.
I think that even that was going to be too hard for you to say. I think that you really did mean I didn't want to go there. Those were the types of things that you wanted everyone else to hear.
G'day, Christy
Because
Malloy.
like I was saying before, you want to differentiate yourself from everyone else. You see people that were on the show like this Lurch guy that you talk about, how disgusting. The people who have been convicted of molesting other children. People who have been caught before. There was one guy who showed up at the house and then the very next day showed up again. Not at the same house, but it was the same, the same operation. So there's guys who walked in naked.
But he was.
There's guys who brought alcohol.
He was just coming to something to eat. Come on.
And all kinds of stuff. I mean, but you have to understand that you're no different from them. You were just as dangerous. You were a predator.
You are.
That's not what I wanted, though.
I know. No.
Doesn't fucking matter.
That's not what I wanted. You have to change those words in order for them to be actually correct.
And on top of that, it is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. You just didn't want to get caught. You wanted to, you wanted to molest a child. You tried to. If you weren't caught, you would have still been doing that. So it is what you wanted. What you didn't want was to get caught.
But I need you to listen to what I'm saying, though.
I will listen, and then I'll correct you.
When I was sitting there talking on the computer, I never wanted. In my head, I knew I didn't want to go to the sing house.
Okay, what does that mean? Why not?
Just because it was just something to do, just sit there and talk to someone, and she made me feel like she cared.
Okay, but wait a minute.
After being so used by my family and feeling like nobody cared.
Okay, but wait a minute.
And that's what kept me talking.
Okay, but wait a minute.
I mean, I hate this, and like, how many times have we heard him say this? And it'll get into this more later, but like, this is one of the things that pisses me off about him the most, where he craps on about this. It was just someone to talk to. Like, anyone can find anyone of age on the internet to talk to. If it's just to talk to someone, like, he's in those chat rooms and that, you could find countless amount of people just to talk to, like, because there's that distance with the internet, like, there's that kind of anonymity kind of thing, like, so you might be able to find someone to talk to on the internet that if you met them in real life, it becomes pretty apparent that maybe there's not much in common, many different ways that you guys wouldn't hit it off, but those barriers are not there, at least not at first on, if you're having a conversation with someone on the internet. So like, that is such crap, and I know I don't need to say this, I know everyone realises it, but it really does my head in this whole, I just wanted someone to talk to. If you just wanted someone to talk to, you would have had so many options, especially if you're in the country music rooms and that. You can't tell me there is not adult men and women that wouldn't have talked to you. Like, that is bullshit. You are just trying to cover, okay, yes, you might have enjoyed the conversation you're having. I have no idea why, because there's no real fucking conversation. But you were enjoying that because it was a little girl, and that is what you're attracted to. So the attention you were getting back was turning you on. That's it. And as Tiffany will point out very soon if it was just about talking or just about, because he then goes on to say it was about warning them or wanting to protect them or whatever. Well, you would have done it for a boy as well then, if it was not a sexual thing.
What do you mean you didn't want to go there? Why not?
I mean, I did not want to go to the Sting House.
But why
I
not?
sit there and talk all day, but I didn't know why, because I knew in my head that it was wrong.
Only 15 more days, Precious. Yeah, fuck off, you didn't want to go there. You're counting down to something you apparently didn't want to go to. You hurried home from work on the day you were there. You wanted her to still talk to you in the shower while you were getting ready. Like, fuck off, you didn't want to go there. Like, it's just bullshit. And the fact that you turned up proves you wanted to go there. But we have a countdown, the final hours of you going there. There was no trepidation. There was no hint of, and that's the thing. Like, if you didn't want to go there, you owe this person nothing. So if you want to pretend that, like, okay, I got caught up in the fantasy, we're talking online, but then I got to the day, and I'm sure this does happen to some of these predators, whether or not they have a bit of a, and because we know that some predators didn't show up to their house. Now, whether that is, some kind of late, crisis of conscience. I mean, for most of them, I doubt that's the case, but to give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe it is. Or, they get to the day and then it's real. Like, holy shit, this is such a risk, and they back out. Well, you could have done that, Lord, if you didn't want to go there. That's what would have happened. You could have, just never got on the internet again, never responded to them again, or you could have just been like, hey, look, I know we plan to do this, but I've really thought about this. This is the wrong thing to do. I'm not going to come tonight, and this is goodbye. Like, oh, we're not going to talk anymore. So it's just bullshit. Stop it. Like, this is why you can't get out of the class, because you're still going on with this kind of stuff until you can come to that realization. Or he realized it, but until you can admit it, you're going nowhere.
Okay, why was it wrong?
Then, because she was underage. She was 13.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wrong for me to do that.
G'day, freaky
It was wrong for me to do everything that I did on there.
Yep.
But in my head, I was telling myself, I'm not really going to go there, so I'm just talking to her.
But that still doesn't matter. It doesn't matter either. Once again, that's not the case. You were going to go there. You were planning to the minute detail on how to go there. But like, that wouldn't matter. Even if he didn't go, even if from the start he said, you know what, I'm never going to meet. I'm just going to tell her it's going to do, so this keeps going along. It doesn't matter, because if this was a real kid, in that time, you had done all the manipulation. You had exposed yourself so many times. You had manipulated her into, touching herself and doing things that she ordinarily wouldn't have done. You had broken her trust. You had taken her innocence, as you love to point out. Like, if this was a real kid, even if you never went, the damage you had done to them was done. Like, you can't take it back. The issues this child would have going forward in terms of trusting people, in terms of their self-image, that was all done. Even if you said, nah, not meeting, it was all done already. So even if we believe your bullshit, you're still fucked. G'day, Tiana James. And Serenity.
And they got out of hand doing what I was thinking. And I wanted doing.
Okay. Can I ask you something? And we
Yeah.
had touched upon it the last time that we talked. The first time that you were talking to her, the very first day, when she said she was 13, and you were talking about how you're a good guy, don't talk to any other guys. And then it turned very quickly, and you said something like, did you ever hear anything in this room that made you say, wow? And what you were talking about was like, I'm assuming that they were, could say something sexual in the regular chat room
Yes.
that you guys were hanging out in. Okay. So that was your first line.
Yeah.
Because that's what you were gunning for.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about you were feeling low because of experiences that you had with your family and your life was spinning out of control, there was a lot of stuff against you. You had that whole situation with Betty's house that happened, and you had to bail out of there. So you went to Nashville, and then you were getting on the computer, and so before
G'day, Queen
it
Alco.
started turning into something about being in love with each other, it turned sexual before then. So I want to know, why did that happen? Knowing that she was 13, what turned you on about that?
I don't know. I'm being honest with you. I don't know.
I want you to think about it then. It did turn you on.
The thing is, I think about it all the time. Why would I allow myself to do that?
Okay. So not only there's two different things
It's
that
not what I
happened.
wanted to do.
Well, there's two different things. There's two different things that happened. There is something that is going on in your mind where you're getting turned on by something. And then there's the actual expression of that. So there was something about Kayla that turned you on. You knew in your mind, you're thinking, I'm turned on by this, but I know that I shouldn't do this. This is pretty out there. I would definitely get in trouble if somebody knew. But I'm turned on.
But I still went there.
Well, it's not even going there. I'm talking about the very first thing when you said, did anyone say something that made you say, wow? So it was fresh in your mind.
I was trying to find out if she saw anybody say anything sexual in the room.
Okay. And
that made her say, wow.
And why would that be? Because you wanted to find out if she liked it.
Maybe. I'm not gonna say no, because it's quite possible that was the reason.
No, it is. It is the reason, and more so, it was the same thing he did with the LOLs. He was testing the water. So he did it the whole way through, and like, this is the thing, like, you can be excused for thinking Lorne's a half-wit, and in a lot of ways he is, but he isn't as dumb as he comes across, and Lorne is more uneducated than he is stupid. Like, he's very manipulative, and you need to have some amount of intelligence to be manipulative. But it's like everything with Lorne, he puts his energies into the absolute most fucked things. Like, rather than applying himself to better himself, to maybe try to get a better job, all this kind of stuff, he applied himself in what was to try his best to rape a kid. Like, this whole heavy, and I'm sure he says that to most of the kids he tried to talk to online, this whole crap about, have you seen anything in here that made you say wow, or anything that, like, and people say perverted things, because he wanted to see her reaction. So if her reaction was, yeah, I have, and it's fucking disgusting, all of those people that say that to me should be locked up, he would have most likely gone, okay, and, got the fuck out of there. Or then he would have to try to work her, around it. And you can hear this kind of stuff he would have said in those things, about, well, but if you love someone, that's okay and that. Or if she did what she did, where she was like, no. Or if she was like, yeah, I have, and I think it's pretty cool, then then that's his way in. So he can push there. But it's like everything where he tried to push it a little bit further. So when he would, like, try to be like, have you ever kissed anyone? Or, have you ever touched yourself? Lol. So that if she was like, oh, fuck, you are one of those gross weirdos, he'd be like, Precious, I was just joking. I didn't actually want you to answer that.
Darn the... Fuck.
Hey, you're going back to You're
I
going
hate
back
not
to your
understanding it.
normal. You're okay. Well, I'm going to help you try to understand it. You're going back to the same things you always say. I was messed up at the time. I don't understand. I didn't want to. And like
Well,
I
I
said,
don't
those things.
understand because I've never
But I'm
been
going to
like
help
that
you. But
in
I'm
my
going to help
life.
you,
I've never done that.
Lorne. I'm going to help you. Hopefully,
But
understand.
you had Lorne. At least one time that we know about. And there'd be so many more. So fuck off.
In order for that to happen, you have to take that away because that is your protection.
You know, even now in this, apparently he is going to be, completely open and honest, and Debbie is the only one he can be open and honest with, and that he's not even close to it. Like, he will never be honest about it, ever. And it is, I mean, nothing can undo what he's done. Nothing can change the person that he is. But he could legitimately start to move forward. And I honestly believe a lot of this stuff is what, like, Maria and these people are going on about, how, you can't change the past and that, and you need to move on. But, like, you can't move on from this. You can't leave this behind. But you can start to own it. You can start to say, yep, this is what I wanted to do. And in fact, if I had the opportunity again and I didn't think I would get caught, I would do it again. So you can own up to that, so you can start to build safeguards that stop you from doing this, and you can not leave this behind, but you can put this as your past and start working towards your future. But he will never do it. He will die. This motherfucker will be on his deathbed, if he has a deathbed, because most likely his trailer will cave in on him and he will, be crushed underneath with his fucking crooked dick in his hand. But his last words, if he has them, will be, I never meant to do it.
You're using those things to protect you and be like, no, 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 no. Thinking that I'm a child predator is way too scary. So I need to throw on the things of that wasn't me. I was really messed up at the time. A lot of shit happened. My family, blah, 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 blah. That's your protection, and you have to take it away because I need to help you understand why.
I don't understand how I could do something so disgusting when I've spent my whole life protecting kids.
Okay. So
It's
one
so
of the
fucked
things
up.
one of the things that I had mentioned last time too is that the internet provides a platform, or it provided a platform for you to kind of touch into this fantasy that you had in your mind. Something that you wouldn't be able to just do in your normal everyday life because that would be way too scary. Approaching a girl.
G'day, I were confused. And 100% right. So I were confused says his story about a friend supposedly going to take him out for drinks all that night at the bar is definitely made up. It's there is no doubt in anyone's mind that is definitely made up. But it's like, this is classic Lorne. He doesn't realise that even makes him look worse. Like, his whole story is he just wanted a friend, he just wanted someone to talk to, and someone that would treat him right. And so that's why he was talking to this kid. But you're saying in the same breath that, you had someone that, was your friend, that was such a good friend that they were going to buy you drinks all night. Like, by what Lorne says, that should be what would have him die a happy man. Like, a night out on the drink where someone cares so much about you and you mean so much to them, they're going to pay for you all night. And we all know that Lorne's bill would be pretty fucking high. And so you apparently had what should be your dream, if we are to believe your bullshit, and you turned that down so that you could go fuck this kid. Like, that is worse than if that story didn't exist. Like, that is just showing how much you wanted to do this.
Who's 13 years old and talking sexually, saying something that could scare her so that she tells someone, that's way too much. And that's like, there would be immediate consequences to that, either by parents or schools. The cops would be knocking at your door. End of story. But somebody who's on the internet, it's again, another safety net, somewhere that you would be able to engage in that and be turned on, be able to talk about stuff that turns you on that you wouldn't normally be able to do. That's where that came into play.
Because
So
it
that
wasn't a real thing.
No, it's not that it wasn't a real thing, but it wasn't something that you were engaging in your with the people around you. So you weren't just going to a playground and chatting it up with a 13-year-old girl. You were doing it in the safety of your home where you could hide. And if something scary happened, like, she says that she's scared or her dad gets on or something like that, you could just shut down your computer and completely throw it away or something like that.
I don't
So,
know why I didn't think then why it wouldn't affect anybody with me just doing that.
okay, so
When it
that's the
affects so
reason.
many people.
That's the reason why you did it. Is because you didn't think it was going to affect anybody. More importantly, it wasn't going to affect you directly. With the scariest part of the whole scenario is getting caught.
Yeah, that's definitely the scariest part of the whole thing, and I know that.
Okay. So then being on the internet took that away. So now that we know that part, I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me
how I can bring myself to do that.
Shut up, Lorne.
Well, it just ties into what we just talked about. I think it was you felt safe doing it. Being on the internet made it safe for you. So now that safety net was there, I want you to tell me what turned you on about Kayla.
It's because somebody was paying attention to me and not wanting something from me.
It never even got to that point, though. I'm talking about the very first time that you talked to her, because you're talking
the very
about
first time. Well, okay, see, that's what I'm saying. Is when I first started talking to her, I really meant to be just a nice person, just to give her somebody to talk to.
Bullshit.
Would you have done the
That's
same?
what I say when I said I never meant to.
Okay. Would you have done the same for a 13-year-old boy?
I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have.
Why not?
Of course you wouldn't.
Because it was a boy.
Good little boy.
Okay. And you're not attracted to boys.
Right.
Okay.
See, this is, like, as we were talking about before, but not only that, like, this is what amazes me at Lorne, like, where he would be more concerned about someone thinking he's gay than someone thinking he's a pedophile. Like, I mean, everything he is saying right now is a lie. Like, listening to it, you know it's a lie, and, you know, knowing what happens in the future, we know it's a lie. But, so he's lying right now. He knows he's lying. So, the best thing he could say for his made-up story here right now is I mean, and don't get me wrong, Debbie, you know, would know that he is lying. But the best thing he could say right now is, yep, I would have been exactly the same with a boy. I just wanted to, you know, I just wanted someone to talk to. Wouldn't have mattered to me if they were a, you know, a boy or a girl. That's all I wanted. But he can't say that because then he's worried it'll make him look gay, and he's more concerned that Debbie is going to think he's gay than Debbie knows he's a pedophile.
So that sort of chips away at the I wanted to be a nice guy story.
Yeah, because
Okay. So then I want you to continue, and I want you to explain what turned you on about Kayla. After all of that, I want to be a nice guy. Don't ever give anyone your name. Stuff like that. Because we're still talking about the very first day.
You know,
Tell me what.
Just reading a comment from someone, you know, talking about, you know, had one night stand. Sorry, I were confused. Said it a few days before. You know, he said he had a one night stand a few days before the sting, and so it wouldn't be hard up to chat with a 13 online. Like, that's right, but like on top of that, like he talks about these one night stands he had, and say, oh, they wanted more. It was me that just wanted a one-night stand. Well, if you're so desperate for company and desperate for someone to care about you, you have us believe that you're having these one-night stands with these women, and they're like, please, Lorne, I just, let's go on a date. I need you. And you're like, no. Nope, it's not what I want. But why couldn't these apparent adults that you were having one night stands with being that company that you need? Why did it have to be a kid if you're not a pedo?
Turned you on about Kayla so that you turned on your camera and showed her your penis.
This is so hard for me to talk about.
I understand.
Oh, no.
I understand that it's really hard for you.
I'm doing it just for
because you know what
Debbie.
it means. You know what it's saying about you.
That I had bad intentions right from the beginning.
What were the bad intentions?
To have sex with a 13-year-old girl.
Okay.
Jesus.
So tell me what turned you on about that.
Just the thought of it, I guess.
Okay, Michael,
Okay, so what's the thought of it?
Just the thought of it.
What about the thought of it is exciting to you?
I don't know.
I know it's really hard to talk about. I know that it is. And I think that, yeah. But this is what Maria's talking about, you moving on. You have to get past this stuff. You have to get it out. I'm sure that it's been bothering you this whole time. I'm sure it was bothering you back then. You had these thoughts in the back of your mind. They were there. It didn't just all of a sudden happen that night. You had them. And that's such a burden.
So funny the way he cries.
Because there's a side of you that knows. You know. You know that you didn't want to be that guy. So I want you to keep pushing. You're a lot stronger than this to just stop yourself.
Yeah, well, you're not really. G'day, Mo Green, Metro
The
State
thought of
Tactical
having
Ice Cream Truck.
sex with an underage girl that was a virgin.
Okay. And what was exciting about that for you?
Just because she was an underage girl that was a virgin.
Just repeats the same shit again. But why? Why
So
is
about
that?
it being an underage girl who's a virgin, what were the types of feelings that you were having about that when you would think about it? Like what was something in particular that turned you on when you were thinking about this? When you were having your moments alone, what would you think about?
Oh God, that is fucking hard to talk about.
I know. But like I said, it's going to be freeing for you. It's something that it has to happen, Lorne.
I've never gone this in depth talking about it with anyone.
Jeez, okay. Debbie, don't you feel special? He's never gone this in depth. You fucking should have gone this in depth because that's what you're meant to be doing at your court-enforced therapy, you fucking idiot.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're able to do that today. So I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to keep going.
This is their closeness.
What did you imagine when you're having these fantasies? When you imagine yourself back then, what did you fantasize about? I know we said a younger girl, underage, who was a virgin. Tell me about that.
Oh, God. Just her being naked, and me being naked with her, and me trying to be gentle with her, and
Like a lot of times, like, you know, he'll say things and like he does have a very weird way of talking, but it might just be his weird way of talking here, but like the way he says me trying to be gentle with her, like he words that like like one of the things that would turn him on is him having to fight the urge to not be gentle with her. Now, like I say, I might just be reading too much into the weird fucking way him and his whole family seem to talk, but it's a very odd way to word that.
What was that?
Oh, God, you didn't hear it?
I didn't hear the very last part. You said being gentle with her, and then I think it might have cut out or something. What else did you
Trying to
say?
be good, and trying to be good for her.
Trying to be good for
What do you
her.
mean good for her?
What the
I
fuck?
mean, being gentle with her.
Okay. So you wanted to give her her first experience.
Yeah.
And what was exciting about that?
I guess it just being her first experience.
Do you think that that would make you an important part of her life?
Maybe that was part of it. Maybe it's 'cause I wanted to show her that I cared, like she was showing me that she cared.
Okay. And what else attracted you to her?
Her hair.
And see,
What
it's
like her blonde?
like everything here is so disgusting, obviously, but when he gets to like the hair bit, like it's disgusting on like so many levels. But like because like when he talked to Kayla, he talked about her hair and how he loves long blonde hair or blonde hair, as he would say, and that you know that she can't cut her hair and this kind of stuff. And then you hear the things, you know, the stories he tells about his nieces, about how he used to comb their hair and play their hair and all that kind of stuff. And it's so fucking disgusting. Like this is clearly something like people's hair is clearly something that is a turn on to him, something that like he fantasizes about and that's erotic to him. And then for him to tell the stories about how he would do that with his nieces is just so fucking gross. Like he is so sick.
Hair, you mean?
Yeah.
G'day,
She
8
was
inches
blonde.
cock.
Okay.
She was showing me that she cared about me, and that meant a lot to me at the time.
Well, that happened later. That happened later because you had about a month to talk to her before everything happened.
Yeah,
And I mean, the first time they talk ends up with him showing her his penis and talking about all that shit. So, and I mean, I know everyone's read the chat log, so we don't need to go back over it, but she didn't say much the whole time. She certainly didn't say very much in that first time, that first 90 minutes or whatever the fuck it was. So, how exactly did she show you that she cared?
At the end.
G'day, Omega.
So
at
we're
first it was
still.
just me being horny.
You were
And
horny.
yes, so Omega's just arrived and needs an update. Is Lorne still a pedophile? He is still a pedophile. Yep. G'day, Doom.
Okay. And how did you feel when you found Kayla? That must have been really exciting for you.
What do you mean? How do I feel when I found Kayla?
Well, I mean, she's 13. She's exactly what you were looking for.
No.
G'day, sorry, please.
That's where I got to stop because she was not what I was looking for. I wasn't out looking for a 13-year-old.
You were.
When I went in the chat room, I went in.
Her. You weren't looking for a 13-year-old. You talked to multiple 13, 14 odd year olds in there. You would talk to 13, 14-year-old in Molly that we know about. You weren't looking for a 13-year-old, yet you wrote to someone called Kayla Princess or Kayla Precious Princess, whatever the fuck her fucking name was on there, with a picture of someone that is very clearly a 13-year-old girl. Yet you weren't looking for that. Well, mate, you did a fucking great job of finding something you weren't looking for. G'day, stumble,
Nope.
repent, repeat.
I
Right.
didn't go in a teeny bopper chat room.
Right, I
I was
understand
not
that.
I was not looking for that.
Right. But you found her though. So when
Yeah.
you found her, how did you feel? Were you thinking like, oh, finally, this is my ultimate fantasy that I can't tell anybody about?
The stuff that I'm talking to you about, I've never gone in depth with anybody, including Emma or Winnie,
Okay.
with this stuff.
What about
Like
with
that.
Allie?
With Allie, I'd never go this in depth with Allie about it either. I've never been this in depth with it with class
Hmm.
to go this deep into my thoughts.
I can tell you that they probably already know your thoughts and they've been waiting to hear them.
Well, they've heard some of them. They haven't heard this in depth.
Don't you feel special?
But that's what they're waiting for.
I have a problem going this in depth because I hate thinking myself doing what I did.
Right. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. You just do it.
Yeah, like ripping off duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape.
Yeah, whatever.
But you just do it because it has to be done. It has to be done. And that's how you can get the help that you need. When you're talking to Allie or when you were talking to your class and when you were talking to Emma, you knew these things in the back of your mind. You knew that they were there. And it was way too scary for you to say them. And unfortunately, the flip side to that is that they're not able to then help you in the best way that they can.
It's hard for me to deal with. It's hard for me to live with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you've got to.
Not the guy that I ever wanted to be.
But you are.
Right. And unfortunately, the internet gave you that ability to be that guy.
G'day, Top Quark.
Fucking mad at myself for doing that.
When did you start getting mad at yourself?
Right when I did it.
What do you mean right when you did it?
Right when Chris Hansen walked out.
So when you
Okay.
were caught, you got mad with
I was
yourself
like, fuck.
when you were
Mhm.
caught.
What the fuck is going on? Well, at first I was really nervous. I was like, well, who the fuck is this? I didn't know Chris Hansen. I'd never seen the show before.
Hi,
Well, yeah,
sir.
but it was an adult, and you weren't expecting an adult.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought was it either her father or a cop.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who Chris Hansen was. I'd never seen him before in my life.
That's fine, but like I said, it was an
Doesn't
adult
matter.
male walking
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Who was obviously going to know why you were there.
yeah.
Oh, Mr. Moore.
So you were mad at yourself for getting caught.
I was mad at myself for getting caught. I was mad at myself for going there to begin with. So I knew better. I even said that in the conversation.
What did you say?
I could wind up going. I could wind up going to jail because of it. I said that earlier in the conversation.
Okay.
I knew better than to do it. And that's one of the reasons it's so hard for me to think about me doing it, because I knew better, and I was one of the reasons I didn't want to do it.
But the chance that she was real was better. It was a lot stronger. Because you couldn't pass up that opportunity.
G'day, Lorne Hub.
It's sick.
It's very sick.
One of the reasons I don't understand how I could possibly do that is because what I went through when I was a kid. I knew how much it bothered me. I knew how hard it was to live with it.
But that wasn't what you were thinking about when you were talking to her.
No, it's not.
So none of that stuff came up in your mind.
No.
It wasn't the pain that it could cause her or the sadness, the regret that she would have had after.
Or the hurt through it caused her.
Especially because you were saying that you were in love with
What
her.
did you just say then?
Especially because after.
Or the hurt through it caused her.
Especially because you were
So
saying
he goes,
that you were.
or the hurt it would cause her. I know how hurt I was. No one gives a fuck how hurt you were, Lorne.
In love with her and that you were going to get married.
Yeah.
Were you serious about that?
I wasn't talking about marrying her right then.
I know.
When
Well,
I
you
said-
couldn't
when
because
I
it would have
said
been
that-
illegal. You would have been found out if you tried to marry her
Yeah.
right then.
Yeah, when I said that, I meant when she was 18. That's what I meant when I said that. And actually, I think I said that in the conversation.
Yeah, because it's another one of your manipulation tactics. Like, you know, because you think that all little girls, you know, think about their wedding day. So you talk to her about, you know, you guys are going to get married so that, you know, not only will that hopefully make her like you more, but, you know, she'll know that she can't be with any other fucking boys because you two are engaged.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have been able to happen really before then. So in your mind, you were thinking, I'm going to have this relationship with her for 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why the hell I was thinking that. That I knew that wouldn't work. I really hate myself for doing that.
One of the things that I was thinking about that made me sad, out of the millions of things that made me sad about this situation, was that Kayla's first experience with a man, even just verbally, the things that he told her were going to turn out to be lies. She would have had to feel at 13 years old that a man will say whatever he thinks that she wants to hear in order to have sex with her.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
It's devastating.
Disgusting.
It's pretty selfish.
It's extremely selfish.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I think that, in all honesty, the entire conversation was about you being horny. It wasn't about finding someone who cared about you or not wanting your money. It was all about your dick.
And that's what it wound up being, 'cause that's all I said.
That's all that you said, and that's all that you showed her. Like I said last time as well, I talked about this a lot with Winnie, and I read through the chat, and so much of it is burned into my head. Once again, when you're talking about emotions, and I found somebody who was paying attention to me, and that's why I kept talking to her. Again, that's a protection that you're using for yourself to differentiate yourself from the other predators.
I never thought of it like that. It sucks to have to live with it. How much of a piece of shit I was.
You are.
Mm-hmm. And that's not an easy thing for people to get past.
No, it isn't. It's not. I can't get past that. I think about every fucking day.
I'm talking about everyone else.
No, I know. It's affected me, my life, a lot because people haven't gotten past it. I can't get past it. Every fucking day I think about it.
What do you think about?
I think about why did I do it?
Well, we already talked
We
about
know
why
why.
you did it.
You know
talked about
why.
why you did it. It's because you wanted to have sex with a 13-year-old. That was your fantasy.
How I can bring myself to do it is what I'm saying, because
Car is how
I
you
knew
bring
it was
yourself
wrong.
to do it.
And it's not something that I didn't want to be that guy that did that kind of thing. I knew how much hurt it would cause that person because I had to live with it myself.
Oh, here we
I was
go.
fucking disgusted by it.
And see, that's what he was doing before when you know, he was saying, how much it hurt because I know how much it hurt me. He was trying to lay the seeds there because he was hoping that Debbie would be like, what do you mean that you know the hurt, Lorne? And they'd be like, oh, my brother. So, but she didn't bite. So now he's got to bring it up again, hoping she'll bite and, give him the sympathy that he needs. G'day, Eel.
I know you don't want me to say this again, but I knew I did not want to go to the house, but I still went there.
Why did you go there?
Because the thought of having sex with an underage girl turned me on.
Right. So the answer of I didn't want to go there doesn't apply.
Yes, you're right. Because I didn't want to go there. I just didn't want to get caught.
Right. That's where all the planning came in.
What a fucking piece of shit.
Yep. You were a predator.
Yeah, as much as I hate fucking saying that.
Well, you didn't say it. I did.
No. You said it, but I know. It's fucked up.
I think you should say it yourself.
I was a predator. No sense in me not saying it because everything I did says that I was.
You are.
That's exactly it.
He is still a predator. Like, you know, you only have to look at Rhoda. Still a predator. You only have to look at the outrage with Casey. Like, you telling me you wouldn't fuck a 17-year-old if it was legal? You're still a predator, Lorne. Always have been, always will be.
Ashamed of it. So fucking ashamed of it. Disgusted by it. Ashamed of it. Grossed out by it. Hurt by it.
Hurt by it.
So out of the two situations, the two possible situations that it could have been, in that Kayla was a real 13-year-old girl that you had been exposing yourself to, that you had been talking about molesting her and participating in her rape. There's the possibility that she was real. And then the other possibility is that she was a grown woman sitting behind a computer, wasting your time in the hopes that you're going to be talking to her and
G'day.
not running into another 13-year-old.
G'day, Dink
I'm happy
Diggler.
that I got caught. I'm happy it was a sting.
Bullshit!
I'm happy that I didn't get the chance to.
Bull fucking shit, you're happy you got caught. Like, that is a lie and it is ridiculous. Like, you are not happy you got caught. You would give anything to go back and not get caught.
Hurt anyone.
And not only that, not only showing up, and I know that that's obviously a huge deal, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. The damage to Kayla started way before you drove up her driveway.
I know.
The damage to Kayla started when you asked her if she knew what rape was, when you established yourself as a safe person to talk to, when you were the exact opposite.
Yeah, I know.
These are the things that you have to verbalize. You have to say them out loud and you have to admit them.
The damage that started to her was when I started talking sexually to her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna deny it and not say it because I know it. I know it.
Yeah.
Hurts like hell that I'm that kind of guy.
That's the guy who still needs help because he's never gotten away from you. He's been stuck there.
No one can
You've
get
been
away
trying
from
to
you, Lord.
suppress him.
Not even yourself.
And he's not able to leave.
Night,
Guy,
cornhole.
I don't know how that guy's ever gonna be able to leave because he thinks about it all the time.
Well, I don't mean
He has a
leaving.
He has a hard time I have a hard time letting people in because of what I did.
Yeah. And the opposite is going to be true as well. People are going to have a really hard time letting you in.
Sucks having to live with this shit.
Hill makes a good point. It doesn't happen often, but he has in this case, where he says the irony is if Lorne did go back in time and tell him that Kayla was fake, 2007 Lorne would still go to Sting House and meet Disney Girl. And, like, that is 100%. Like, if, you know, imagine a scenario where, you know, future Lorne gets in the DeLorean and he goes back. And it's funny, because I'm pretty sure Batsby and I joked about this on a stream once, but, like, you know, it's like, you know, he goes back, he's like, Lorne, you can't go there. She's not real. Like, you are going to get arrested. You can't go to the Sting House. And, like, one or two things would happen. He'd go, oh, thanks, future Lorne, and then jump back on the computer and, you know, write to Disney Girl, and then end up at the Sting there. Or, you know, he would still go, and he'd be, like, outside the window going, Kayla, you gotta come outside. If I go in there, I'm gonna be arrested.
I think that you're exhausted because you've been in denial for so many years.
And g'day, rotten crotch fruit.
It's hard to talk about.
I know. It is. The worst thing that you can do at this point, Lorne, now that you've started to talk about exactly what you were thinking that first night with Kayla, the worst thing that you can do is go backwards.
I don't want to go backwards. That's part of the reason for me going over to Tony and Wendy's.
Exactly, Eel.
Because they don't judge me. They just let me be me while I'm there.
Are you sure about that?
Well, as far as Tony doesn't judge me.
Well, Tony,
Wendy,
Winnie told
he probably
me
does.
that he actually laughs at you about getting arrested.
Oh, yeah, he did. But he kept teasing me about it until he realized it.
Don't they yell out to him, down, get down. That's so funny. These are the people he chooses to hang out with. And they're just like making fun of the time he got arrested trying to fuck a kid.
But it pissed me off. I had a lot of anger when I got out. And a lot of it was towards Tony. And Tony's actually the one that I took it out on. So I'd go over there and we'd get drunk. I said things to him that I'd been wanting to say for years. And he knew I was right in saying everything that I said.
Sure,
we pushed each other around outside, pushed me on the ground and pissed me off, so I got up and pushed him down too. Come there, motherfucker. Tried to fucking push me again. Kind of surprised him because he didn't realize that. Because I wound up pushing him on the ground, but we never hit each other.
I think that a lot of your anger was displaced. Like it was being placed in different people, in different situations, because you didn't want to admit what you did and your actual responsibility in it as being 100%.
Yeah, because nobody else drove me there. It was me that drove me there. It was me that put myself at the computer.
Yep.
Right.
It was me that did the whole thing.
So I know that there's stuff that has gone on since then on the computer about you.
Yeah.
And I don't know everything, but it looks like there's a lot of stuff. And from what I gather, it all comes down to these excuses that you've had. I mean, just scratching the surface, just looking at some of the comments that people have made, some of the posts and things like that, there's a lot of anger. And it goes with, like, how is this guy denying what he did? He's actually saying he didn't want to go there. He didn't want to talk to her like that. Is he seriously doing that? Like, what the fuck? And even on your channel, your own videos were 100% denial.
I know.
And that's why you've been trolled so hard. That's why stuff has happened. It seems to me the response from other people has been completely negative because you're in denial and everybody knows better. Everybody knows better.
I didn't want to admit it to myself. I didn't want to think myself that way.
I know.
I knew I didn't want to think of myself that way. I was ashamed of myself.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. And so when they're getting these responses and these videos about how, well, I'm going to tell you why I went there. And it all comes down to my family and how they treated me. And I was like, wait a minute. I thought this was going to be about how he ended up there. And now he's talking about other people and how everything else seems to boil down to other people did things to me and pushed me in a direction where I ended up taking my dick out for a girl and I drove to her house and wanted to fuck her. And that is so frustrating. So frustrating.
Yeah, I know.
So think about it. When I talked to you last time, you were talking about he committed a crime against a poor 12-year-old girl. And his excuse was, I was drunk and I blacked out. And so it happened. And I'm going to move on with my life now. You did not accept that reason. You were thinking to yourself, being drunk is no excuse for what you did.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone has been hearing from you.
Yeah, I know. Because I didn't want to admit it.
And now you have.
I hate myself for it. I don't want to hate myself. It's so
Well, you
hard to
should.
live with it, knowing what I did.
We hate you,
And
so
now
you
what
should
you're
hate
going to be
yourself.
able to do is use the resources that you have available to make yourself better, to keep going deeper and to keep getting an understanding and not backslide. Because there's going to be a lot of people, Lorne, who are never ever going to forgive you. Ever. Those could be people who don't know you at all. Though, and they can also be people that are in your own family and people who are your friends. It's just going to be a part of the consequence. And they're not a bunch of assholes. They're not a bunch of people, can't move on with their lives. Nothing like that. It's just, that's the way that it's going to be.
It might take some time before I'm able to talk to anybody else about it besides you.
Oh,
Speak of what I've
God.
gone with you.
Well, that's okay. I mean, if that's the case for right now, that's okay. I'm hoping that you're going to be able to branch out from there. I'm hoping that you can talk to other people, including your probation officer and your class, especially. The denial that you've had for all of this time is why you have become so hated. No one can subtract what happened on that day or on that month. No one can take it away because it already happened. But then after that, you went to prison and nothing ever changed. The only response that people were getting from you is no, it wasn't me. Not my fault. You need to look elsewhere. You need to look at the shitbags that are in my family instead. Look at what they did to me. I'm the victim. That's just not the way it is. So don't do that to yourself anymore. And the one thing is, like, you're not holding this big secret of your admission. Everybody already knows. It's just that no one's ever heard it from you. It's kind of like when we were talking about your money. Just because people aren't outright calling you an asshole and a fucking deadbeat doesn't mean that that's not what they're thinking. And that's not what they're telling their friends and their family. You said before that you want to be a good man.
Yeah, I do.
You don't want people to walk around and look at you sideways like, oh my God, this fucking guy.
No, I don't. I think it's part of what hurts me so bad. It's because I know what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is good crying.
It's so hard for me to live with it. That's why I just don't. I don't understand why you I can't even like myself for what I did.
Well, I hate you for what you did.
And you should.
Yeah.
I hate myself for what I did.
I know a lot of victims, Lorne. A lot. It's devastating to think about their pain and how they've been changed from that moment on. Someone that I know has been living with it for over 50 years. And there's scars on her body from how she would cut herself. Because that's how she would deal with it. She had so much pain. It affected everything in her life. She never had a normal relationship with a man. She never did. And it's all because someone like you came along. That's what breaks my heart. I want you to really feel that, Lorne. I want you to feel that it's because of people like you.
I do feel it.
Oh, you don't.
I know what you're saying. I know how they feel. That's what makes it so hard for me to live with what I did.
Like, even after that, he's still going on about how it makes it hard for him. Like, you're not the consideration here, motherfucker. Firstly, I don't believe that you think about any of this Like he's carrying on like he's like this fucking highly empathetic person, crippled by the pain of others that he's inflicted and people like him have inflicted. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. But like, after this to try to pretend that like, oh, he struggles because of the hurt. Like, he struggles because his life fucking sucks because of his actions. Like, he struggles because at the end of the day, he just wants to get in Debbie's pants, and he's basically like, how much longer do I have to play this game? Because and at what point is she going to be like, you know what, Lorne, it means a lot to me that you've gone this in depth with me, so I'm coming to Cornville.
One of the things that makes me so sad is that you said you got mad at yourself when Chris Hansen came out because you got caught.
Yeah, it was because I got caught.
That's fucked.
Yeah, I know.
That's fucked up, Lorne.
I know it is.
That's something that you really need to think about, because
I'm happy now that I got caught. I could have hurt her.
Yeah.
For life.
For life.
I know what happened to me, and it hurt me for life.
All right, here we go. See, this is what I mean. 3 times he has tried now to get Debbie to take the bait and say what he's like. He won't stop. Like, he thinks this is his way out here. And I've said many times, I don't believe this bullshit that he goes on about. And I don't feel completely. I always feel like victims should be believed, but it's too convenient when this comes out. But we are going to wrap it up there for tonight, because this is moving into another part of the call now. So I think it's a really nice, maybe not nice, but I think it's a good conclusion for tonight's part of the call. But we will get to the rest of it on the next stream. So thank you very much for being here, guys. This has been a lot of fun. It's always great to hang out and laugh at this guy. And so and I know it's been a while, so I do appreciate everyone being here. I'm hoping to do the next part of this call this week, maybe tomorrow night or the night after, but we will see how we go. So until then, guys, be nice to each other and have a great time. Bye.